So what does it really mean to be conservative? In Japan, the answer might surprise you. It's not just about holding on to the past. It's about this incredible balance between honoring where you come from and boldly moving into the future. Okay, let's dive into this really unique idea.
The idea here is that Japanese conservatism works on two different axes. Just picture this. You've got a vertical line, and that's all about honoring the traditions and the culture handed down from your ancestors. Then you have a horizontal line, and that represents embracing progress, the universal values of civilization from all over the world. True Japanese conservatism, the argument goes, is right there at the intersection. It's this kind of gradual, steady progress that avoids radical extremes on either side.
Now this balancing act, it isn't some new idea from a textbook. It's a pattern you can see woven through the entire history of Japan.
And you can see this so clearly in two key moments. Way back, Japan took on incredible things from Chinese civilization. Their writing system, their philosophy, ideas about government. But, and this is the key part, they rejected the whole cycle of dynasties rising and falling. They held on to their own unique national identity, the Kokutai, which is centered around the imperial house. Fast forward a few centuries to the Meiji Restoration, and they do the exact same thing with the West. They embrace modern science, industry, democracy, but they carefully protect that same core identity, becoming the first ever non-Western constitutional monarchy. So you see, the big takeaway here is that it was never about just blindly copying other cultures, or on the other hand, shutting them out completely. It was this really smart, careful process of picking and choosing, taking the best ideas from around the world while making the core of what it means to be Japan even stronger.
Okay, so let's jump forward to the Showa era, because this is where that carefully maintained balance gets pushed to its absolute breaking point.
In those really tense years before World War II, Japan's system was caught in this political vice. From one side, you had the far left, pushing for a total communist revolution, Soviet style. And from the other, the far right, demanding radical military-controlled change. And squeezed right in the middle were these conservative liberals who were just trying to defend freedom, democracy, and the constitutional monarchy itself. And who was right at the heart of that fragile center? Well, according to this analysis, it was Emperor Showa himself. He was seen as the personification of this middle ground, trying to hold the nation together against these powerful forces that were trying to tear it apart.
This whole conflict, this huge ideological fight for the nation's future, it all comes to a head in the final, desperate days of the Second World War.
So, what do you do in a situation like that? What happens when honoring your ancestors and tradition seems to fly directly in the face of preserving the future of civilization itself? It's a massive moral problem. And right here, in the emperor's own words explaining the surrender, we get this stunning paradox. He says continuing the fight would destroy Japan. Okay, that makes sense. But then he says it would also lead to the total extinction of human civilization.
Wait, what? I mean, how could the fall of one country, no matter how tragic, lead to the end of all human civilization? It sounds like a wild overstatement, right? So, what on earth did he mean by that? This is the puzzle we need to solve. To get his logic, we have to dig into this idea of what makes a civilization universal in the first place, and why Japan's very existence was so crucial to that concept.
Okay, so the argument goes something like this. For modern civilization to actually be a universal value for everybody, it can't just be an exclusive club for Western nations. It has to be open to everyone. And Japan, by modernizing so successfully back in the Meiji era, had already proven that a non-Western nation could do it. They proved that these values weren't just Western values, they were human values. Japan's success is what made civilization truly universal.
And with that in mind, the emperor's statement becomes this incredibly powerful argument aimed right at the Allies. It's like he's saying, step one, you guys claim to be the champions of modern civilization. Step two, but you just used a most cruel bomb on civilians, which shatters a core value of that civilization, the rule of law. Step three, if you use that power to wipe us out, you're proving that your civilization isn't universal at all. It's just a weapon for racial dominance. And step four, a so-called civilization that isn't for everyone isn't civilization. It's just barbarism with a fancy name.
So from this perspective, the emperor's decision to surrender wasn't just about saving Japan. He was trying to save the very idea of a universal human civilization. He was preventing the world from sliding back into a dark age where might makes right and where violence is just used to dominate others.
Okay, so let's bring this full circle and connect it back to where we started, those two axes of conservatism. Because this decision, as huge as it was, fits that framework perfectly.
You can see both axes at work right here. The vertical axis, tradition, is right there in his words. He's agonizing over how to face his ancestors after surrender. That's the weight of the past. But at the exact same time, on the horizontal axis, he's making a choice to save the future, to preserve this universal value of a human civilization that includes everyone. It's the ultimate balancing act.
And that's the whole point. This act of surrender wasn't framed as a defeat. It was a forward-looking, deeply conservative act. It was a call to come together, to rebuild, and to get back in step with the progress of the world, all while holding on to the nation's essential identity.
And that really leaves us with a fascinating question to think about, doesn't it? We usually think of tradition and progress as being in conflict. But maybe this whole story shows us something different. What if having a deep respect for your past isn't something that holds you back? What if it's the anchor that gives you the stability to embrace the future?